Living on a Prayer Flower Farm live flower chat. I am happy to have y'all here with me. If you're watching the replay, thank you. If you are here for the live, thank you also for being here. I finally figured out why the last live did portrait mode instead of landscape. I had a setting on my phone that was all mixed up, and I just figured that out literally 10 seconds before I went live. I hope you are all doing great. Let me make sure that all my chats are going to show up here. Hey, Sarah! And then your chat went away. Why did it go away? One day I'm going to get the hang of this YouTube live, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the biggest lesson that I've learned while flower farming this year. I feel like year 2 has definitely taught me a lot of lessons, and I've got a good game plan going into next year. Next year's going to be the year, right? I'm still scared to talk to y'all about my numbers and how much I've spent this year. The good news is I earned a lot more this year than I did last year. But I hope you're all having, if you're in the US, a fabulous Labor Day weekend. So who all is here with me? Comments should be coming up, maybe. Live chat. There we go. Hey, Sarah. It's 5:30 in Australia. How is the future? Is the future good over there? I cannot believe you're up at 5:30 on I guess it would be Monday for you. Oh my goodness. I do well to wake up at 5:30. I try to wake up at 5:30 during the weekdays, but I actually have about 6 alarms. I've got one at 5, 5:15, 5:30, 6, and so on. About the 5:30 to 6 is when I finally wake up. Hello, my backyard gourds. Thank you for joining my live. So let me get my sheet here. So hello, Jenny. Thank you for joining me as well. I'm so glad to have y'all here for the live. I really am. I'm trying. I might have forgotten about the live at one point. So if you thought this was supposed to be an hour later than it is, you're not crazy. I scheduled it later and then scheduled it for an earlier time. Hey, Lauren from Colorado. Are y'all starting to feel cool weather yet, or are y'all still hot and sticky like us? But I completely forgot about the live, and we made plans to go to a friend's house. So I was like, well, let me just change the live to be an hour earlier. So if you're watching this at the time it was originally scheduled for, and you're like, Jessie, where are you? I'm sorry. My memory doesn't work that great anymore. Everything event-wise has to be put in my phone, and I didn't put the live in my phone because just life, you know. But the seedlings that we started that y'all saw, 95 still there. Oh, we're actually cooler than you are in Colorado. We're like maybe the 90s, but there's no sun right now, so it's decent out there. But the seedlings that we started are doing really good, guys. I'm actually getting ready to start moving them outside, getting them used to that weather. The foxglove. My foxglove is still hating me. I don't know if it just hasn't had enough cooling yet in the refrigerator, and maybe that's why it didn't germinate as well as I wanted to. Hello, Colorado tulips, and happy Sunday to you as well. But I think I'm going to end up having to restart the foxglove, which isn't, horrible. It's okay. I've got time, so I'm going to be restarting that maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow is an off day. Don't have to work tomorrow, thank goodness. So I'll be spending time restarting seeds and editing. You're in Canada and they're slowly starting to cool down. 70s during the days and around 50 at night. I'm ready. As y'all can see, I've got in case you didn't know, it's fall. I know it's not technically fall till September 21st, but as far as I'm concerned, it is fall. It is Halloween time for me. I'm one of those people. And I'm ready for the 50s, to leave my front door and my windows open. I'm tired of hot weather. Tired of it. Bring on the cool weather. Bring on sweaters and hot chocolate and all the stuff. Except pumpkin spice. Don't come for me. I do not like pumpkin spice. Hey, John Roebuck. Welcome to the chat. Glad to have you. So we'll be restarting foxglove. Not a big deal, but everything else, my sweet William, looks really good. And Sarah, you're over there in Australia just now starting spring. I hope that you have a really good flower season, Sarah. You'll have to let us know how it goes. I also need to go ahead and start more status. About half my status came up and about half didn't, which is odd. Not sure what's going on with that. My eucalyptus took forever, but it's coming up. My campanula, my bellflower, guys, it's coming. It has germinated. I've got green specks in there. It took it. We're on like what, week 3? Week 4? Has it been a month yet? It took it a long time to germinate, but I've got it in 72 plug trays or 200 plug trays. I forget which, but it's time to go ahead and just try and pot it up to a bigger sale, maybe. Never dealt with these things before, you know, as far as getting it actually to grow. So I'm excited about it. I need to start feverfew. I need to start Amy, Ami, Dara, the carrot family area. I need to get those started. And I need to kill more weeds. You can see the boxes behind me. I'm going to disassemble those and start putting them out like y'all suggested to kill some of the weeds in the grass and put compost on top of that and start trying to plant flowers on that. I'm still going to have to till some, but I'm hoping to till less. I cannot tell you the amount of thistles I've got in my sunflower area. It's ridiculous. I was hoping to do the farmers market this weekend and having one last farmers market video for you guys. However, my sunflowers are just now getting to be blooming. So I am like waiting. I'm hoping they'll all bloom at the same time, which is what I want. So I can have like one last bang before leaving the market for the rest of the season. But yes, you're right. If you have not ordered seeds yet, you may want to, especially if you're going to try a fall transplant. And you may want to go ahead and start considering what you're getting for spring. It seems like every year there are less and less seeds available, or they're harder to get. You never know about shipping issues, things like that. Back order. I think I really wanted some Status Pastel Mix from Johnny's, and I think it's back ordered until like April. I need it now. So I won't be getting that mix. I think I was able to find it somewhere else, but don't hold me to that. GOC may have had some, but that's what we're running into. Even now, if you're trying to order for next spring, some of the seeds are still on back order until April or June of next year. That is crazy, but I guess that's just the result of the pandemic, you know? Everybody got into gardening. Everybody wanted to grow flowers, which is a good thing. We need to be outside more. We need to be growing things. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Order your seeds early. If you haven't ordered them now. But I've got some sunflowers out there that I need to harvest. I think I'll do that tomorrow. Sarah, I'll be waking up at 5:30 to go do that. You just got that status mix from Johnny Seeds. Oh, did you? Did you order it like recently? My seed order is done. I don't need to go buy more. But is it available? You want to go on Johnny's real quick and tell me if it's available? Because I may have to get more seeds. That's so horrible. Okay, so I'm really excited to share my new video with you guys. It's going to be premiering Wednesday, 1 p.m. my time. So it is the expectations of flower farming versus the reality of flower farming. Came the other day. So it's just a funny video on, you know, how you just expect to be walking around in beautiful flowers, and you're going to use landscape fabric so there's no weeds, and then the reality, which is, hello, there's weeds everywhere, there's bugs, everything dies. So please help out the channel that if you see that video come out on Wednesday, please go ahead and click on it. YouTube actually judges on how much they're going to push out my video based on your response. So based on my community, they're going to push it out to you. And if you're like, I'll watch it later, it really hurts the video overall and it won't push it out as much. So I'm asking you for help for that. Colorado Tulip sounds awesome. If you can entertain a question, I'll make a jump and buy a grow light system. No, come. There it is. Sorry. I saw your video last year on the grow light review. Do you still have the same opinions? Okay, Colorado tulips. For the grow light system, if I had to do it over again, I would buy a shelving system and buy my own lights. Unless you spent a lot, are willing to spend a lot of money, like over $1,000, if you order from gardeners.com or from Johnny's, make sure that that shelf is wide enough to fit a 10 by 21 tray or 11 by 21 tray. Yes, it helps, Jenny. If you comment on the video, it really helps. If you like and comment, it tells YouTube that you like my content. And if you watch the video all the way through without stopping, that really helps. But what I found out with my Gardener's 3-tier light system, which I do love, I use a lot of, is the shelf width is not big enough to fit 4 10 by 21 trays. I can only fit 2 10 by 21 trays going longwise instead of, the other way. So that would be my suggestion. If I started over today, I would buy a shelving system, an industrial shelving system that I know I can fit 10 by 21 trays on, and that they can sit with the light above them. Right now, like on my plastic shelf, my black plastic shelf, they fit 4 10 by 21 trays, but the light system is just like, here's the end of the rack, here's the end of my tray, and the light system can't get those seeds that are over here. So that's what I would suggest is measure, bring you a tray and try. Hello, Jenny Peoples. Sorry, I'm horrible at words. Yes, you are welcome, Colorado tulips. Thank you. I appreciate it. So that's what I would suggest. Shop lights are good also. And you can find really cheap LED lights on Amazon. I know when I first started, I was very, very apprehensive. Nicole at Flower Hill Farm has a great setup, thank you, Lauren, on how to set up seedlings. So definitely check out, some of her seedling room footage that you can find from last year. I am very envious of her setup. She has it going on. I know when I first started into this, I was really nervous and overwhelmed. And that's why I went with the Gardeners, because it was already set up. I didn't have to think about it. If you had to choose between Gardeners or Johnny's, I'd go with Johnny's. It looks like they've got a better, more practical light setup, and they're for farmers. I need to put together an Amazon wish list, Sarah. I do not have one together. I just have Amazon affiliate links, but I need to figure out how to do that wish list. I have not done it yet, but that is a great idea that hopefully I will accomplish sometime this fall. How to do tulips, when, where, and how to purchase bulbs. So I actually have a video on where to order bulbs this year. Let me tell you what I'm going to be doing with tulips this year, guys. I have learned I am not going to put my tulips in the ground anymore. No more digging a trench. The past 2 years, I've dug a trench, put the tulips in, covered them with compost. It was horrible. The first year they did okay because the deer didn't know where they were. But this past year, I lost over 50% of my tulips that I ordered. Over 50% were taken due to tulip fire and deer pressure. And then also just from not planting at the right time. I'm in zone 8. I'm not sure what zone you're in. But this year has a zone 8B grower in the south where we don't get cold. I will be holding my tulips in the fridge for 14 to 16 weeks before I put them in the ground. And by put them in the ground, I'm putting them in the fenced area, the deer fence area where my zinnias are. I'm going to put down cardboard. I'm going to put in the decking boards on the side and throw compost on top of the board, plant my tulips on that, and then put in more compost on top of them. And I'm going to do this in January, and I'm going to try my best to do 2 to 3 to 4 plantings of tulips this year. Last year, I thought I had it down. I ordered early, mid, and late season tulips. They all bloomed at the same time. I had tulips for a month, maybe. And So this year I'm going in way more confident with how to deal with tulips. So they really just need that cold period. We didn't get cold until late January, honestly. We didn't ever really get really cold. It was so warm. I remember December and early January, we were in the 70s, which is unheard of. We at least normally stay in the 30s and 40s during that time, but we never really stayed in the 40s at all. We were 50s, 60s, and 70s all last year. It was a warm winter last year. So that's what I'm going to do. Plant them 3 or 4 plantings in January. I now know one of my biggest lessons that I've learned this year is tulips are scary. Do you hear me? Tulips are freaking scary when you're harvesting them. So with tulips, pull them up by the bulb and store them lengthwise, wrapped in some paper, in your fridge, dry. Oh my gosh, Colorado tulips, thank you so much. You are absolutely amazing. You have no idea how much that helps this channel. Thank you, Colorado tulips. You are the best. But you're going to lay those tulips lengthwise. Okay, good. So what varieties are the best? Still figuring that out on my own. All I can tell you is read about length. No, I don't want to grow in crates, Sarah, because I'm just lazy. I'm too lazy for that. UK, thanks, Jan. I'm so glad to have you, Jan. You've been here for forever with me, and I appreciate you sticking through this journey with me. But you'll store them dry in the fridge, horizontal, and when you pull them out, even if they don't have the bulb attached when you pull them out of the ground, you can still store them dry in the fridge, laying down like that. And the reason you want to wrap them in paper is so that they stay nice and not flopping over. Because when you pull that tulip out of the fridge after it's been in there for 2 weeks, it's going to flop over. It is going to look dead. You are going to freak out like I did. And you're going to go, oh my God, what's happening? But if you leave it in the paper, they're going to look squished. They're going to look horrible. I've got a video vlog labeled What's in My Backyard or Tulip Disaster, early video from last year. And I freaked out because my tulips looked dead. They looked squished and gross. But after putting them in water, 24 hours before I needed them, they revived, looked great. So with that, let's get to what is the biggest lesson I've learned this year. The biggest lesson I've learned from keeping track with my flower journal. This is an Erin Condren planner. This is what I use, their monthly planner. And it's got all my notes and stuff in here. What I've found from looking back and making my notes is that spring is my time to shine. Summer is not my time to shine. Overall, for my community, for sales, and for YouTube, spring is my time to shine. I don't know what that is. That's me being professional or professional. You know, I haven't done the hair flip in a while, guys. But sales are so much better in the spring because people want flowers. My biggest sales are for May and June, and it's because people are just craving those flowers. Everybody's getting into gardening. They're searching who's your favorite flower farmer, who do I need to watch. They're looking for those vlogs of flowers. Spring is my time to shine. So with that, I'm going to chill on summer. I will still grow some zinnias. I can't not grow gomphrena. I mean, it's just beautiful. I can't live without it. But I think what I'm going to do is just take July off, grow a smaller amount of those summer-loving flowers like celosa, zinnias, cosmos, things like that. And that should be good. Oh, welcome back. So that's what I've learned. Biggest lesson I've learned this year is definitely timing spring. I'm concentrating on those beautiful, cool flowers for early blooms. I'm leaving the yarrow and the Rebecca in the ground so I can have earlier, better flowers. I'm going to start relying more on those perennials like that, and having the foxglove out. I've still got to get the glads in the ground. Anybody else on here order glads from Jake that are still sitting in their house? Just me? Just me? Don't tell me it's just me. I still have like 100 in the crate behind me, and yeah, really need to get those in. But that's what I've learned is I'm gonna push forward, try and put in more of the work now for less work later, I think. But the sales, plus the market is busier in the spring. When I go to the market right now, there's fewer vendors, there's fewer people, and I'm also going to start bringing less flowers, hey honey, to the market. So what do I mean by that? Last year I was donating $400 to $500 worth of tulips to the nursing home. So, I mean, the nursing home residents loved it. It's a great thing to do. Always donate your leftover flowers to somewhere that could use them. Don't try and hold them and sell them later. It just doesn't work. Oh my gosh, Jenny Harrison. Y'all are going to make me cry. Thank you so much. I'm not going to do it. Writing it in. 100 glads not planted. You know, you needed a break. Oh, thank you. But thank you, Jenny Harrison. Y'all, you're amazing. Thank you so much for that. The optimal time to plant glads is early spring. So March time. I can still put them in the ground, which I am eventually, maybe. And they'll put up some green and then they'll die back and they'll come back next year. I know, y'all, Colorado tulips, Jenny, y'all are just so generous. Y'all make doing the lives worth it. I mean, honestly, y'all are amazing. Thank you so, so much. But, yeah, glads, you can still put them in now. The optimal time is like March, April for our zone. And they'll come back every year. I'm debating on whether to do lilies next year or not. Oh, I've got glads. So another thing I've been doing that I started this week. Hey, Ramilla. Oh, I cannot speak. I'm sorry. Ramilla. Welcome to the live. I'm sorry that I butcher everybody's names. I'm terrible with names. It's just part of it. But thank you for coming to the live. I'm happy to have you here. But one of the things I've been doing that I ran and told my husband I'm so excited about is I've been taking some video classes on how to get better B-roll and shots. So I got some, guys, the Gumfrena has never looked so good on camera. So I've been just kind of watching thank you. I've been watching, instead of doing shots like this, do shots like this. So I'm trying to learn that. I know the vlogs are very slow right now. I'm sorry. Life is getting back in order. Yesterday, I was finally like, you know what? This house is a disaster. I can't take it anymore. Hey, Margaret. I can pronounce your name. Thank you for joining. I'm glad to have you on the chat and commenting. It's nice to hear from everybody. But I finally got tired of the house being a disaster. And the kids were like, Mom, why are we cleaning? Is somebody coming over? Like, no, nobody's coming over. I'm just sick of the house being a mess. I can't function. I need to be able to sit at my kitchen counter and eat breakfast and drink my coffee without being overwhelmed by the clutter. So that's what I did yesterday. Was I got this house under control. And today was church, getting ready for the live. We're going to a friend's house. Going out there and testing my video lessons that I learned and getting beautiful shots of my flowers and beautiful shots of the ugliness of the farm. I was watching Nicole's video that came out this morning. Was it this morning? And seeing where the deer just devastated her farm. And it's horrible to say, but it made me feel better. Seeing that her farm also looked like my farm, I was like, okay. Because, we all suffer from imposter syndrome. I'm never going to be good enough for myself. We are our own harshest critic. But it made me feel better. Hey, Curvy B, I'm glad to have you at the live. If you're not in scrubs or house clothes, where are you going, Mom? Yeah, I get that too. I get that too. Oh my goodness. But I'm ready to see farm the next year. Next year's farm. It's going to be so pretty. I am debating on whether to lower my tulip order that I had with Ball Seed Company. Not because I want to, but just to save on that cost. You know, it's a lot of upfront cost. This year I haven't spent nearly as much as I did last year, but I did spend a lot on compost, seeds, bulbs. Speaking of bulbs, you know what next month is, right? It's October. Our fall bulbs are going to be rolling in pretty soon. I'm so excited to be receiving additional daffodils. I did order crocuses. I think that's how you say it, crocuses, to go in the back where the photographers will take pictures. And I made, I think it was almost $800 off that. Well, bye, Colorado Tulips. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And then, guys, for those of you who have just joined, I am releasing a fun video on the expectations versus reality of flower forming. That's going to premiere Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you see it, please click on it and watch it. YouTube measures how well they're going to push out that video based on your response. If you don't click on it and they show it to you multiple times, they're going to go, the audience doesn't like it, so nobody else is going to like it, so we're not going to push it out. So I'm asking you, please be sure that if you see it, click on it. It's just a fun, short clip of how we think flower farming is going to go versus how it really goes. And I'm excited to share it with y'all. There's a few things I'm still working on it, but it will be released Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm excited about that. Am I going to make a profit? Yes, I will go over how much I've spent and how much I actually made this year later. But thank you, Ramilda. I appreciate that. I can tell you, I have not made money this year. Hey, it's Bonnie. Thank you, Bonnie. Yes, glads. I do leave them in, and they'll come up next year, which is great. The dahlias I need to dig up and move because they hate where they're at, and the deer are eating them. Oh well, you know, give, take, I'll figure it out. But shoot, where was my line of thinking? I just had a thought that I was about to share with you guys. Oh, I made way more this year than I did last year, which is great. But I also spent a good bit of money this year. But don't worry, I will do a video on the cost of flower farming year 2 for all of you as well. And you know, a lot of the money I spend this year is also for next year. So like the cost of the daffodils, the tulips, compost for the tulips and things. Those are things for next year that I pay this year. And oh, another random thing that happened. So I'm big into community. I love Ruston. I love my Ruston community and family. They are amazing. And I had a random text from a restaurant that me and my husband actually love to go for date nights at, asking me for basil. Their supplier didn't have any basil. They heard that I grew basil and wanted to know if I'd be interested in selling it to them. I was like, well, I do have basil. I was actually about to mow it down, but it's lemon basil and cinnamon basil. I can bring some by if you'd like to try it. Yes, we would love to try your lemon basil. Please bring us some. So I brought it by Friday. I cleaned it and I brought stems of it, and they tried it and they're like, yes, this is perfect. We need more for this weekend. Can you get us more tomorrow morning? I was like, yes, no problem. But how many stems are you wanting? And like, I would bring them to you as a bunch. Are you wanting me to clean them? Because I put the stuff in bouquet that I normally don't have to clean. I'll try to make sure there's no bugs or anything. They're like, no, we'll do all the work if you can just give us the stems of the basil. I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. You know, how many are you wanting? Thinking they're going to want like a whole bucket full. Basil's super cheap, 4 stems for $1. So a whole bucket full for maybe 20 bucks or so. She looks at me and she goes, can you get me 15 stems? 15? Yeah, is that okay? Is that doable? Like, yeah, that's doable. You know, don't worry about it. Sure, I'll drive out to the farm and pick it up from you. It's like, you know what? If you're gonna drive out to the farm to pick up the basil and you only want 15 stems, come on, no charge. She's like, are you serious? It's like, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna charge you for something that's gonna take me maybe 3 minutes. Super easy to do, and I'm not even cleaning. We love this restaurant. We love eating here. We want y'all to survive and do well, so no problem. Well, she came to pick up the basil, and she brought me a $50 gift card to the restaurant. I was like, anytime you want basil in exchange for food, I'm for it. We are for it. I mean, that gift card was worth way more than the $2 or $3 of basil I gave to her. But I'm down for it. And we, of course, immediately went on a lunch date to the restaurant and ate and drank and had a good time. Cheapest date ever. Totally down for it. So I'm selling basil to a restaurant every once in a while, which is not expected. But if it means I get a free date night with my husband, totally down with it. Do y'all have any questions for me, or tell me what's going on in y'all's lives? Waiting on the comments to pop up. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rambling on about flowers in the farm and all the seeds that I bought. Well, you stick to your decision to focus on spring flowers to avoid burning summer. Oh, now see, that's a trick question. As of right now, yes. Yes, I'm totally going to stick to my decision so I don't burn out. Totally going to stick to it. 100%. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to stick with it. Margaret, I did plant alliums. I have a video of me planting alliums, and it was an epic fail. So I learned about alliums that, one, I need to put them in the refrigerator to give them a cold period. And then also they like sandy soil. They like well-draining sandy soil. So the alliums I planted in the fall, no, they did not come up. It was an epic fail. Advice for first-time flower farmers. I actually have a video of top 5 mistakes flower farmers are making with Serena with You Can't Eat the Grass. Be sure to find that video and watch it. But if you're just starting out, start out small. I would say start out with maybe 5 different flowers and 2 different fillers, and that's it. Unless we all get seeds from Sunflower Steve. Yes, we all need sunflower seeds from Sunflower Steve. That would be epic, right? But start out small. Only buy what you can afford. Get your soil tested for sure in your first year. You're supposed to get tested every year, but for sure your first year. And social media is your friend. Planning on planting ranunculus for the first time in the spring. Nervous I'll fail, but since I've seen others have issues when they're first starting out. Jenny, are you the one who's also in zone 8? If you're in zone 8, you need to fall plant them or they will not do good. So if you're in zone 8, if you are in a warm zone, ranunculus need to be planted in October and November. They will die quickly in the heat. Just FYI. You cannot plant them in the spring here. Well, I mean, you could, but they ain't going to do good. They can be small and they're going to die so fast. That fan is just taking my paper. Stop taking my paper. Yep, so for first timers, definitely. Oh, here we go. 6A. Okay, you might be good, Jenny. You may be good. You may ask other people in your zone on the flower group when do they plant theirs, because you may be able to do it in a low tunnel, which would be great. Ooh. Do you feel double tulips are worth it? You know, I do. Personally, I do. I sell those. So they cost me, double tulips will cost me about 56 cents a tulip, all right? I sell them for $3 a pop. $3 each. So that's $2.50 roughly in profit for each of those tulips. Plus, my customers love the double tulips. They call them peony tulips, and I just don't correct them. So it's up to you and your community. If they're not buying those double tulips, stick with the singles. I grow kind of a combination of both. You know, I don't know if they would. Maybe. That's not really their scene. Yeah. With the single tulips, I sell those for $2 a piece, and they're going to cost me roughly 30 to 41 cents each. So they're still worth it to me. I will say this though, they bloom out really fast. I loved Blushing Impressions last year. It is a beautiful single tulip that ended up has a sub. But my issue was it blew out. Like, woo! It was bad. Beautiful at first, but if I didn't harvest it soon enough and get it to my customer before it started to color up real good, they bloomed really fast here. And that was one of the issues is we're so warm that as soon as I take it out of the fridge, they start immediately coloring up and getting ready to just burst out. So that was an issue. I still don't have another fridge. Don't grow tulips and bulbs like that need a cold period unless you've got spare refrigerators or a cooler. I still don't have a spare fridge. I just have the 2 spares, and I don't know. We're going to figure it out. Maybe I'll be able to afford a cooler this upcoming year. I feel good. This year I won't lose over 50% of my tulips, and I won't have a crop failure. Good vibes. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. Everything's going to live. Nothing is going to die. Right. Plus, I'll have more photographers hopefully coming out wanting to take pictures in that daffodil field. And speaking of that field, I'm excited about planting more bachelor buttons and catering more to the photographers. I am working on, don't hate me, I'm working on getting this YouTube channel up and better, and creating more photography spaces than I am actual farm. Have you seen these wonderful double daffodils? Yes, they're gorgeous. And I have several double daffodils. I did notice last year, I don't know if y'all had this issue, but the daffodils I'd planted in 2020 that were fancy didn't look as good the next year when they came back. I don't know if we just didn't get cold enough for them, if they need compost, or what. I've never had that issue with daffodils, but I'm still going to be doing the farm. I want the farm to be profitable, but I don't want the farm to be the main income source. YouTube is great. It's paying for itself at this point. YouTube is not free to do once you've gotten started. I pay about $20 for my website. I pay about $20 for the music. I use music license. Another $10 for my Canva subscription. That's where I make my word art and my thumbnails and things like that. Then you got to pay for your gear, so camera, stands, mic, lighting, computer, software, all of that. But right now YouTube is paying for itself. Thanks to y'all, thanks to Colorado Tulips and Jenny. Thank y'all. Y'all are helping YouTube take care of itself, which means a lot to me. Right now, I'll be honest with you, I average about $120 to $150 a month on YouTube. And that's with the super chat and super thanks. That is what's keeping this channel afloat. So I'm not kidding when I'm telling you, thank you so much. You have no idea how much it helps this channel. And I'm still developing this channel. I'm wanting to go more vlog style, a little bit of education mixed in, but definitely more entertainment, hanging out with y'all and just growing the community that I'm a part of. I love discussing all things flowers with y'all. I love knowing what's going on in your neck of the woods and how is your farm doing. And it's great. One thing I'm not growing as much this year is ranunculus. I still ordered ranunculus, but I'm not ordering nearly as many. And this year, I'm growing them in landscape fabric. The past 2 years, the weeds just get so bad around them, I can't keep up with them. So this year, landscape fabric, not having to deal with the weeds. We'll see how they do. I'm not sure how they'll do. I've never grown them in landscape fabric before, but I love the look of ranunculus, and I think that they would do great if they didn't have so much weed pressure and they're being grown inside the electric fence. Where the dahlias are outside of the electric fence, I think I'm going to turn those into my filler beds. Yeah, YouTube is hard. Spill the tea with them. Don't go away. YouTube is definitely very hard, and I've even paid, for consult. It's difficult, but what I was told was that my viewers love me, my audience loved me, so thank y'all. It's just getting people to click on my thumbnails. I'm terrible at the thumbnails, and admittedly, yes, I struggle with that. Still a dirt farmer. The dirt is the key. Then the flowers you grow. That's really good advice. That is excellent. You're right. Because if the dirt's not worth it, it ain't gonna grow. But some things like poor soil. I think my issue with the cosmos this year was the soil was too rich. I think it's too rich where I've got them. So move them elsewhere with less good soil, and we'll see how they do. I hope they'll do well. But my mom came out and she was looking at the farm. She's like, it's so pretty. I'm like, no, it's not. It looks horrible. But that's okay. It's the end of the season. Where the dahlias are and where I had the ranunculus, anemones, and tulips last year, I think I'm going to turn that into filler beds. I really enjoyed having the basil out there. The deer did not mess with the basil whatsoever. They did not mess with my basil one bit. So I'll continue to have a nice big bed of basil there. They didn't eat the dill, so I'll plant the dill there. You like the seeds to 1 month videos? I'll try and push out some more of those for you, Sarah. Those just take time to get out. What am I planting for fall? So right now for fall planting, like for spring for next year, I'm planting for fall, or flowers to have in the fall. I'm done planting for flowers this year. I'm not growing anything else this year to sell this year. I've got a thing of sunflowers I'm waiting on, and once they bloom, I'll put them with the gomphrena and the zinnias and be done. Because right now I'm concentrating on all my fall transplants for spring blooms. So right now I'm planting yarrow, dusty miller, foxglove, the canterbury bells, Amy, rudbeckia, status, other plants. Yeah, all of those is what I'm currently planting, and really excited. I'm even planting eucalyptus, and eucalyptus will have its own section that it stays in. I don't think deer will eat eucalyptus. If the deer won't eat eucalyptus, I can leave it in that filler bed that I need to redo. So I need to completely redesign that filler bed though, because it drives my husband crazy. Because the farm is like this way. Nope, no bells of Ireland. And then the bulb filler bed is like this. And he hates it. So I need to redesign it so that it's like parallel to the farm or more squared. He likes symmetry. I was like, fine, I'll do that. But bells of Ireland, I probably won't grow this year. I tried last year. It really needs that cool weather. I tried direct sowing it in the fall. Never got to germinate. Some of them that do germinate, they just shrivel up and die on me because we get so hot so fast. I've given up on bells of Ireland. I am planting larkspur as well and Nigelia. I don't know if I'm planting as much Nigelia this year though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the Nigeria. Is there anything else that I'm planting that's going to be fall? Don't come for me, I'm growing mint. The mint that started out there is doing well, and I could use it. Yeah, I saw that when I was researching eucalyptus that it does really well in Australia. So you should do great with it. I just know that we can overwinter it here in my zone. And that last year, even though I started it in February, that even by August, it still wasn't usable. That it's something that I'm really going to have to just, grow and overwinter. Definitely way more Rebecca's. Bulb-wise, fall planting anemones. I learned I will not be planting those until January, though. Ranunculus, anemones, I think that's it. I think that's all. I may end up still having to do filler from Sam's like I did last year. So last year I had all these tulips, but no filler. So someone had suggested going, I think it was Lisa, apple mint and pineapple sage. Ooh, thank you, Sunny's Flower Farm. I may have to try those. But they had suggested going on to Sam's. Sam's had filler, Sam's Club. And sure enough, they had filler. I ordered it. It was great. Did good. Lots of blue flowers. Oh, coneflowers, bachelor buttons. I plant a lot of those. Those do great here. Plant them in October. Direct seed. They come up. They look beautiful. They hate the heat as well, but oh man, they are pretty at first. I will complain the entire time I harvest them, but they really do make a bouquet. Oh, they look beautiful, and I use their foliage as filler as well. I'll cut some that haven't even bloomed and just stuff them in there just to have something, because when it's winter, it's hard finding the green or something just to put in there with the flowers. I think that's it, but yeah, definitely upping my spring game. Definitely. And the fact that I can hold tulips in the fridge for so long, dry, taking less flowers to market, testing it out. I have learned with my farmer's market, the average I'm going to make is $500 to $600. It's just is not big enough market to make more than that. I did have a fellow flower farmer who lives down the road in a separate city, closer to a major city, Shreveport, message me. She watches the videos, and she's doing the Shreveport market, and she says that she always sells out, that she can't bring enough, and she's doing around the $500 mark. So I'm like, do I really want to drive to Shreveport to see if I can make $1,000, if I can even grow that much? Or do I want to stay at my current market with my current community, knowing I can make $500 or so, and just start bringing that amount and really upping and actually doing deliveries this year? It's a hard decision. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But Ramilda, I am not going to put all my effort into summer this year. I'm going to be better with my summer flowers. I'm not going to burn out. I'm not. I hope not. Ooh. Husband just brought in a rack of ribs. How is the roadside stand going? Okay. Stop laughing. You made my husband laugh out loud when you asked that. So, it's not. It's not going at all. I need to release that footage. I haven't put anything together yet on that. But, oh, hey, Brampton Gardner. Michelle, I'm glad you could make it. Yeah, I did the roadside stand a few weekends, and I still have the tent up. The sun is eating it. At one point, you'll see in the footage if I release it, there are several times when I'm like, oh, I sold flowers. I'm so excited. And I come inside, and you know who bought the flowers? My husband bought the flowers for me, and he ripped me off. He only paid $10 when he bought 2 bouquets. He ripped me off by $10. He was trying to be nice and make it where I actually sold something, but Yeah, the florist game is, I've tiptoed in the florist game. I haven't had anybody really bite yet. And I'm still kind of scared about the florist just because they really have a higher quality, and I'm not sure if I'm there yet and if I want to be there. Working a full-time job while doing all of this, I don't know if I have enough time to have it up to their quality and to be consistent. So we'll see. Oh no, did you have them underneath, shade and stuff? I put up a canopy, but you can't see my stand from the road. That's part of the issue. And it's not a busy, well, it is kind of a busy road, but it's mostly 18-wheelers, and nobody can see it. So even though I had a sign out in front of my driveway saying fresh cut flowers, it was bright pink, it was beautiful, and I posted on social media and stuff, people weren't willing to drive the 20 minutes out to the house for the flower stand. I am thinking, though, of doing a bouquet bar at the house, like Nicole does, but under the carport. Doing like a 1-month event where people can sign up to come and do it. For CSAs, I'm still debating. I didn't do a CSA this year. I'm thinking about doing one next year and having them come to the market to pick up the bouquets from me from the market. Is what I'm thinking. Costly. So that's what I'm thinking. Every year I get a little bit more confident in myself. I know what's going to grow, when it's going to grow, how it's going to grow. Or I think I do. And then, tulip fire strikes. And I'm like, thank God I didn't do a CSA this year because I wouldn't have had tulips for my CSA members. I tried selling gift cards for the farm. I think I've sold one gift card, and it was because someone bought it for a party to give away, and whoever won it still hasn't redeemed the gift card. So definitely going more with the photography route. I know I can get people out here to take pictures in the flowers in the backfield area, not in the farm, outside of the farm, where they can still kind of see the farm, but go to it. I could do a stand at a place in Ruston, not at my work, but at a place in Ruston that's I've been offered to do for free. But I'd have to be there to man it. And it's just easier right now to do the farmer's market than trying to do 2 different stands, or just physically, I can't do 2 separate stands right now. Doing the roadside stand during the week is easy because I can just leave the flowers and go. But to leave it at a business is not possible. And to try and be there to man that second stand, I just can't do it. I would be exhausted and y'all would never get videos. And I like making videos and I like sharing this experience with you. Oh, thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you who always hit the thumbs up on all my videos and leave a comment. It really does help. Like I said, if you have just now joined, new video coming out, the expectation versus realities of flower farming on Wednesday at 1 p.m. my time. Please be sure to watch that if you get a chance. If you'd like to help support your favorite creator, not necessarily me, but any creator that you love, when you see their video, be sure that you watch it and that you watch it all the way through and that you like and comment. That is how you boost their videos up, because YouTube sends it to their main audience. And if y'all don't respond to it, they don't send it out and nobody gets to see it. So just FYI, if you want to help a girl out, Wednesday, 1 o'clock. We're getting close to the hour. Do y'all have any more questions that y'all would like me to answer? I'm loving talking to y'all and hanging out and answering anything I can. I'm still a newbie flower farmer like most people, but I love it. That it spilled the tea. Did you have any luck with the dancing groups? Oh, so yes, actually, with the recital bouquets, that did really well. So I think next year I'm going to ask my sister-in-law, hey, when are the recitals? And I'm going to put a PSA out, hey, I can do these bouquets for you, $20. I can meet you in Ruston at so-and-so location, sell them out the back of my car. They did really well. I charged a little bit more so I could create a diaper around it. So basically, I took the stems, wrapped a wet paper towel all around them, and then I put a Ziploc bag over that, rubber band, and then I put craft paper up over that and secured it with another rubber band. So it gave it a nice, elegant look, kept it from dripping everywhere, and lasted them through that recital. But yes, the moms did that. That went over really well. So that's something else I'll be doing this upcoming year. Yeah, the dance schools. Oh, the high schools. Oh, I don't know about the high schools and stuff, because if they're doing like corsages, I ain't doing that. Yes, my back is feeling much better. Way better than it was. Oh, good, Jenny. I'm so glad. You're going to have a great year. I just know it. And my son, he's doing jiu-jitsu right now. And he's been kind of disappointed because he keeps losing his matches. And I told him, I said, Wade, don't look at it as losing and failing. Look at it as every time you lose, it's a learning opportunity. You're learning at how to get better. So every time we fail and our plants die and tulip fire and deer happen, it's an opportunity. It's a learning experience. Does it really stink at the time? Yes. But in the end, it just makes us better. It makes us better flower farmers. This year went way better. I definitely bit off way more than I could chew. That is for sure. But that's okay. It's a learning experience. Yes, it's gaining experience. And you could watch YouTube, you could read books, and I do some of that, and then I just throw caution to the wind, and I'm like, let's just do it. And sometimes it works out. Most of the time it doesn't. It's all good. I enjoy learning. Guys, quit it. Learn doing it. Any other questions, guys, before I get off? Ooh, you're going to try Lisianthus. Best of luck. I have not tried Lisianthus. Lisianthus scares me too. I am very intimidated by Lisianthus, so I have not done it yet. Maybe one year. I just don't know if it's worth starting from seed. I think if I tried Lisianthus, I would do plugs. But at the same time, I'm horrible with putting the plugs in the ground that I ordered. So, yeah, Michelle's right there with us. She's like, I'm scared to try it too. Lizzies are intimidating, and it takes a long time. From Belgium, hi, Elizabeth. Welcome. That is where my great grandparents are from. They're from Belgium. Maybe one day I will go and see where I came from. I'd love to visit Belgium. Y'all have the best chocolate. What are those? I have never heard of those, Michelle. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because it would just be word vomit. I'm going to have to Google those. I have never heard of them. Yeah, I don't do well with things in seeds. Jenny grew them from plugs and they did well. When did they bloom, Jenny? Did they bloom in like June, July, August? When were yours blooming? Because most of the flower farmers up north, theirs are just now starting to bloom and come in. And by this point, I'm done. Like I said, I'm waiting on those sunflowers. I'm ready to be done with the market. As much as I love it, I'm ready to get my eyes on next year. So let me know how long or when did they bloom for you. Waiting for a response. My chat's a little slow right now. But as we wait, I just want to say thank you again, guys. Thank you all for tuning in for the live chats. I really appreciate it. June and July just finished up the last one, so that's when they bloomed. Okay, June wouldn't be so bad. If I could get Lizzie's to bloom in June, because we're not working in July. Right, Romilda? I'm not working in July, I promise. So, maybe, not next year, but maybe the year after, I'll try Lisianthus. You try first and let me know how it goes. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. It is at the hour and we've got to get ready to go. But I have enjoyed this flower chat. I will continue to try and have more of them because I just love hanging out with y'all. And I appreciate y'all taking time out of your day to hang out with me. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.